Hello, good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss about our second lesson in the third block, that is types of crops. Types of crops. Okay, what do you mean by crop? We already discussed in our previous class about this crop. Is it right? Yes. Then what do you mean by crop? Yes, the plants of same kind grow and cultivated at a place on a large scale is considered as crops, right? Very good. Then we learn various stages for the crop or cultivation. Various stages of cultivation we learned in the previous class. And what are the stages that we discussed? Yes, ploughing or tilling, and second one is sowing. Yes, and can I ask one question? Is the best time for the sowing of rice? Which time will be the best time? Which time? I can't able to hear you. Say loudly. Yes, that means rainy season or summer season or winter season. Which time is the best ever time for the sowing of rice? Someone are saying summer. Is it summer? No. Then rainy season? Yes. Okay. Rainy season is the best time for the sowing of rice. And wheat? Winter, right? Okay, now in this lesson we are going to discuss about which time is the best time for the sowing of the seeds. Okay, on the basis of that we can divide the crops into two types. Okay, that is kharif crop and rabi crops. What are they? Kharif crop and rabi crop. Okay, so in this lesson, the main aim of this lesson is to differentiate between kharif and rabi crops. Yeah. In this lesson we are going to discuss what are the difference between rabi and kharif crop. Okay, first we can discuss about kharif crop. So which means that crops that we can divide it into two types, that are kharif and rabi. Okay, kharif crop and rabi crop. What do you mean by this kharif crop? Kharif crop means that the crops which are normally sowing in the rainy season and harvested in the month of October or November. Okay, kharif crop are the crops which we are sowing in the month of June, July. Rainy season, normally we know that. Which months we can consider as a rainy season? June and July. So in this month, June, July, we can sowing the seeds of kharif crops like rice, sugarcane and groundnuts. These all are the example of kharif crops, and this we can sowing in the month of June or July, and we can harvest it. What do you mean by harvesting? When the seed is, when the plant is matured, then we can cut and store it. When its growth is completely completed, then we can harvest it, right? So they are harvesting in the month of October or November. Okay, and the example of this kharif crop, we can say that rice, cotton, sugarcane, these all we can consider as the example of kharif crop. Okay, then what you mean, and one more thing, this kharif as the word is derived from the Arabic word. The name kharif is derived from the Arabic name, and which means that autumn. Autumn season, different kinds of name of season you may be learnt in lower classes, right? So this kharif, it means, that means the word meaning is autumn. Okay, then we can go to the next type of crop, that is rabi crop. Rabi crop means that the seeds actually sown in the winter season and it harvested in the month of March or April. That means winter season we are sowing these kinds of seeds and we are harvesting it in the month of March or April. Okay, and its example like wheat, mustard, pea, gram, these all we can consider the example of rabi crop. Okay, and kharif crop example rice, cotton, sugarcane, soybean, these all are the example of kharif crop, and rabi crop wheat, then say gram, pea, this all we can consider and example of rabi crops. Okay, so that's all. And the word rabi is also an Arabic name, and which means that spring, which means that spring. The word meaning of rabi is spring. Okay, and that's all about this lesson. And in this lesson what we learnt, did we differentiate kharif and rabi crops? Is it right? So for the differentiation, if it is in exam time, if it is asking like differentiate between rabi or kharif crop. So first you can write what you mean by kharif crop and what you mean by rabi crop. That means its definition first you can write. Then these are harvesting in the month of October or November, and these are harvesting March or April. Then example of kharif crop, that is rice, maize, sugarcane, soybean, these all are the example of cotton and all is example of kharif crop. And the example of rabi crops, that is wheat and gram, pea, mustard, these all are the example of rabi crops. Okay, so that's all about this lesson. In this lesson, did you learn any new word? Yes, we learned. So in this chapter keyword, or in these lessons, keywords are rabi and kharif. Rabi and kharif. You should learn its spelling. Rabi, it's easy to write, but kharif spelling you have to learn. Okay, so that's all about the types of crops. Okay, types of fertilizers. Type of fertilizers. Okay, type of fertilizers. What do you mean by fertilizer? Again we can discuss about the stages of cultivation. The third stage, when we are discussing the types of crop, we only completed ploughing and sowing, right? And now we can discuss the third stage. What is the name of the third stage of cultivation? Yes, very good. That is manures, right? Why we are using the manures in that section already we discussed. Why we are using the manures? To replenish the soil. Very good. And to replenish the soil, and for replenishing the soil we need the manures, and these manures we can say like fertilizers also. Okay, these fertilizers, what are the types of fertilizers? Fertilizers are mainly two types. organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. Fertilizers are mainly two types, that are organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. Okay, so the main aim of this section or this lesson is, aim is to differentiate between organic and inorganic fertilizers. To differentiate between organic and inorganic fertilizers. Okay. Organic. What do you mean by organic fertilizers? Normally, listen here. These fertilizers are mainly we are using to increase the amount of minerals in the soil for the growth of plants. To increase the growth of plants or amount of growth of the plants, we have to add these kinds of fertilizers into the soil, because we already learned that the continuous usage of the field, continuous cultivation of the crops may leads to decrease the nutrients in the soil. Okay, already when we are discussing about Rabi and Kharif crops, if we consider an field, if a field we consider, and June July month we in that field we are sowing the rice, okay, and we are harvesting it in the month of October or November. Then again we have to add Rabi crops, right, like wheat. The same field, if we are again cultivating the wheat, then what will happen? It may decreases the continuous usage of the same field will decreases the amount of minerals and nutrients present in the soil. Okay, so in that kind of situation we have to think about these fertilizers. Okay, and here organic fertilizers means that the fertilizers which is mainly we are getting from the vegetable peels, animals excreta, means plants and animal waste. These all we can consider as an organic waste. But in inorganic fertilizers, the fertilizers which is mainly like chemicals, it's made from the factories and all. Okay, and that's all about the definition, organic and inorganic. Okay, this organic is actually natural fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers are artificial fertilizers. Okay, then one, and in the case of organic fertilizers, I told you that it is natural fertilizers, which means that they are naturally, there will be some micro with the help of microorganisms and all, they are decaying and like that. Compost and all, you maybe know about the compost. Okay, and in that case we can consider, and the cow dung, these all we can consider as an organic fertilizers. And inorganic means that these actually we are getting from, it is made from the factories by using the chemicals and all. We can differentiate what is organic and inorganic fertilizers. Here you can see that the organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers, and the difference between these both we can discuss now. In the case of an organic fertilizers, it will be dark brownish color or dark colors. Okay, and but inorganic it will be white or like that colors it will be. And for the, if we are applying these kinds of fertilizers to the field or to the soil, this organic it's need. Normally here we can consider fertilizers are dividing into two types. Okay, that is organic, and here we can write inorganic. Okay, in the case of organic, we need, actually its color is dark colors, dark black colors. Here in this picture also you can see that very dark colored, and Here inorganic, it will be white or like this colors, means some different in color. Okay, then we can say that organic fertilizers, it is soluble in water, it is insoluble in water. Organic fertilizers, it will be insoluble in water, insoluble in water, but this inorganic is soluble in water. Okay, these are the difference. We have to differentiate both. These are dark in color and this is white or like this colors. Here you can see. Then this organic is insoluble in water, inorganic is soluble in water. Okay, then next one is when we consider about this organic amount. Here we need heavy amount. Heavy we can write, in short we can write heavy. Here we need light amount or small amount. Okay, when we are using it in our field. Okay, so we need very less amount of inorganic, but we need heavy or more amount of these kinds of organic fertilizer. Okay, then we can consider these are the difference between organic and inorganic. That means here it is dark in colors, here white or cream colors and all. Here it is insoluble in water. This inorganic is soluble in water, heavy, and heavy means that if we need to use this kind of organic fertilizers, and this organic fertilizers means that it contains all nutrients, but the key nutrients for the growth of plants are mainly nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay, and these three key nutrients are very less in organic compounds. For we have to make sure that the plants are getting these nutrients, that's why we are adding it more in amount. Okay, and here when we are adding this inorganic compound, we are adding very less amount of inorganic compound. Why? Because it is giving, means these are very nutrient rich, means it or less in that area that we can fill by using a light amount of inorganic fertilizer. Okay, and one more thing you remember, when we are adding this organic matter, already I told you that these are natural fertilizers, or this organic fertilizers are increase the fertility of the soil, but its action is very slow. That means for the growth and all it will take more time, but here this action will be more quick, means fastly that plants can grow and it can produce more crops by using inorganic fertilizers, but using its that growth will be that its action will be little bit slow compared to the inorganic. And at the same time it provide number of minerals to the soil. Okay, and here inorganic it produce any one particular kind of mineral or nutrients to the soil, and here it is number of microbes and all it provide to the soil. Okay, it will help the soil to make or increase its structure of the soil. That means that soil becomes more fertile and it avoids soil erosion and all. By wind and water, that soil erosion can avoid by using these organic fertilizers, but in this case it's actually decrease. At that time when we are using it for particular crop, in that time the growth of that crops will increases, but time to time it affects the soil badly because of it is already I told you that it is artificial, so it decreases as time to time it decreases the nutrients amount or fertility of the soil. Actually it's main thing is that I told you that these are soluble in water. Okay, so these roots of the plants can easily absorb it by the water because these are soluble in water. When they are absorbing the water, the roots are absorbing the water, along they will take this inorganic fertilizer. Okay, and here and one more thing, and in that cases it decreases the fertility, or it in these cases these kinds of inorganic fertilizers, it will not decay. Okay, so it remains there itself, so it will leads to the pollutions and all. It's like an pollutant, it present in the soil. You may be hear about soil pollution and all. By using these kinds of inorganic fertilizers, we are actually polluting the soil. But for increasing the crop production and all, we are forced to use these kinds of for the if we consider, I already told you that the farmers, they are taking the acres or hectares of land for the crop cultivation. In that case, for the better, means they are making it for only the selling purpose, they are making it and to get money. That is the main intention of in that cases. So what will happen, they are adding these kinds of inorganic fertilizers most. But in our kitchen garden, means in our kitchen garden, if we are planting the vegetables and all, there we are using normally the organic things, organic fertilizers. Okay, and at the same time, you remember both the cases, in the both the fertilizers, it having some advantages and disadvantages, right? But we have to think that, means normally in our home purpose, if we are using it only in our home usage only, we are all the peoples, they are looking to the organic fertilizers, even though its action is slow and all, even though we are mainly using this organic fertilizers. But when we are using these inorganic fertilizers for the business mind, like to sell to others, for a large or hectares of area for the cultivating of crops, they are using this kind of inorganic fertilizers. Okay, both the cases, they are having some advantages and disadvantages. Okay, mainly we are using these kinds of fertilizers to increase the amount of nutrients and minerals in the soil, and when it increases the nutrients and all, it will increases the growth of plants, or it will helps the growth of plants. Okay, and if we consider about this inorganic, at that moment, it actually helps for the plants growth, but after time to time, what will happens, it affects the soil badly. That means it's like I already told you that it will not decay. So what will happen, it remains in the soil as an waste, like plastic and all. Okay, so in that cases, it will be an harm for us. Okay, and it will leads to the soil erosion by using soil erosion by wind and water, like that it may happens by using continuously, if you are using this into our field. Okay, and here mainly we are depending it, if it is needed very less, it actually in the case of inorganic fertilizers, it's actually given, it will not provide all the nutrients. Okay, inorganic fertilizers will not provide all the nutrients, it only give that particular nutrients needed for that plant, but in this case, it can provide all nutrients. Okay, it can provide all the nutrients to the soil, but that action will be slow, and we are using it high amount for in the field. That is mainly because of the key nutrients like phosphorus, potassium and nitrogen amount is less, to make sure that it is enough amount the plants are getting these kinds of 3 key nutrients. That's why we are adding more amount of organic matter to the soil. So that's all about this lesson. In this lesson, we learn about the difference between organic and inorganic fertilizers. Okay, and in this lesson, is we learn any kinds of new word? Yes, that is keyword. We learn the keyword that are organic and inorganic. These are the keywords that we learned in this lesson. Keywords: organic and inorganic. Okay, organic means natural fertilizers, inorganic means artificial. as the name indicates, organic, inorganic. So it's having some advantages and disadvantages. We should be understand the advantages and disadvantages, and we have to use it proper way. Okay, that's all about today's class. Thank you.